Hey everybody, at the movies with Philm Brown here. How you doing out there this evening? I'm hoping you're doing as well as we are here, even though we're deep in the dark vaults down here in the Kirkwood world. We manage, and we make things work for us. And one of the things that always makes us happy is when you're with us, and when we are bringing to you a wonderful movie. Now, I'm not sure if you're going to need a mallet for this film tonight. I don't think you'll need it at all. We're showing one of the best prison break movies of all time. One of the greatest films that deal with concentration camp situations and with men trying to break out, sort of that Hogan's Heroes type of thing. And if you really want to know the inspiration for The Great Escape, Chicken Run, Papillon, you name it, and Hogan's Heroes, Schutz! I always liked that show, Hogan's Heroes. This is the film that I think is the inspiration for all of that. Jean Renoir's 1937 Grand Illusion. This is a remarkable film. I have seen this film numbers and numbers of times, and it never does, lose its power for me. It deals with, a group of individuals who are captured, obviously, and held in German concentration camps. And the commandant is none other than Erich von Stroheim, the man that people love to hate. Stroheim does a wonderful job in this film. Early on, as his character, Rothsenstein, is a sort of a free and able type of individual, a flyer, who later on in the film becomes sort of this man and housed in sort of an ectoskeleton of his previous self. We also have Jean Gabin, who plays Marechal, who's sort of the working class hero who is captured and is housed in a number of different prisons. Likewise, we have a guy named Pierre Fresnay, who is the Bulldeux, who is the sort of the aristocratic prisoner, who kind of through chance is thrown in with the Marechal, and it deals with this different types of classes that are housed together within the walls of a prison and how they conduct themselves and the relationships that they have to power, to Rothsenstein and to the other characters across. This is a very interesting movie, too, not only in that you see these classes interacting with each other and how they are able to make themselves operational, but likewise, this is a multilingual film. It is shot primarily in French, which you'll have your subtitles for it. But you'll see that they speak German. You'll have subtitles for that. But don't be surprised if they don't break into English here and there. And those English moments are usually between Bulldeux and Rothsenstein, who are speaking in the language of choice for the aristocrats, speaking in English. It's a remarkable little time when that happens. Another thing that I like about this film, and it's very much of a hallmark of Renoir, is this very mobile framing. His camera lovingly moving about, making connections in space beyond pure editing. One of the remarkable scenes in here is the camp puts on a kind of a variety show. And at a certain point in the show, there's an announcement that a certain town has been taken back by the Allies. And this is a sort of moves a moment of patriotism. And you see all of a sudden this camera just tracking around the folks on the stage, going down past the performers as the certain an anthem is struck and people start singing. And the camera comes down into the audience and then makes its arc back to the folks on the stage. Remarkable connection, connecting together the folks on the stage, the people in the audience, and the Germans who are their captors, all in one great grand moment. The grand illusion that this thing kind of speaks to is the World War I was a major blow to civilization for the Europeans. We think of World War II as being where Americans tended to sort of face the music and grow up and become a part of the world community. World War I was a shattering moment for Europe, and that savagery that was a part of that war broke forever that image of what is the proper way to live. The aristocracy and the working classes and the folks of the middle class all sort of get melded together. You no longer can find those straight and narrow lines of division. One gets along in this new world by one's wits and by basically traversing certain lines. Those who can't get left behind or destroy themselves, as you will see in this film. I think you'll like this film. I really do enjoy it. It's one of those films too, you know, this is part and parcel of that Hogan's Hero business where you get a tunnel out, right? You're trying to tunnel out and you got this tunnel. They got a tunnel in here. Nice sequence with that, okay? But it's not really the core and center of this, as you see in the Hogan's Heroes, which that's an odd show, you know, how the heck they are able to negotiate prison camp life with their existence outside of there all the time. Hogan seems to be sort of a prisoner by choice more than anything else in those shows. Grand Illusion, Renoir, one of the great talents, obviously. He will be coming to the United States in the late 30s, well, actually 1939-40, and in that period during the war, because during the Vichy period in France, there was no place for him. Couldn't be making free films. His experience with rules of the game in 1939 and the way that it was censored so heavily, particularly by the Nazis, really moved him to come to this country and make some really interesting films. That I really enjoy. This Land Is Mine, The Southerner, things like that. Well, folks, have fun with this film. Grand Illusion. Be thinking about what that grand illusion means. What is lost when you're thrown into a conflict like this? What illusions are destroyed? And remember, Elsa aus blue Augen, which is a great line that you'll hear later on in this film. Elsa aus blau Augen. Roll 'em, Smokey.